All right, are the days of big upfront payouts and bonuses for LIV Golf over? There's a new report that just dropped that seems to indicate that they are. And more importantly, if they are, what does that really mean going forward for the league in general?
Nobody ever expected this moment. Not from a league backed by billions, not from an organization funded by what people swore was an endless stream of money. And definitely not from a project that ripped apart the golf world, stole PGA stars, triggered lawsuits, and nearly caused a civil war within the sport. But here we are, surrounded by rumors, insider whispers, suspicious financial signs, and players quietly asking the same uncomfortable question: is LIV Golf actually running out of money? And did the collapse already begin behind the scenes? It sounds impossible at first. A golf league with bottomless funding shouldn't have to worry about cash, right? That's the myth everyone believed when LIV launched. But when you start looking closely at what's been happening over the last 2 years, the spending, the ratings, the failed TV deals, the sponsorship problems, the frustrated players, the disastrous merger negotiations, you start to see a very different picture forming, a picture that looks a lot less like unlimited money and a lot more like a sports experiment burning cash at a terrifying pace. And the wild part? The warning signs were there the entire time. They were hidden in press releases, buried in financial reports, whispered about by analysts, laughed about by PGA loyalists, and talked about quietly among LIV players who suddenly realized the future might not be as secure as they were promised. So let's break it all down. The overspending, the empty seats, the ratings disasters, the sponsors who walked away, the players who regret jumping ship, and the financial red flags that made analysts, journalists, and even LIV partners wonder whether the entire league was heading straight toward a collapse no one expected. Because if you connect the dots, the idea that LIV is in serious trouble becomes a lot less crazy than you think. From the moment LIV Golf launched, the numbers didn't look real. A brand new league handing out money like it grew on trees. Contracts worth $100 million, $150 million, even rumors of $300 million or more, signing bonuses paid up front. Private jets, 5-star everything, purse money that dwarfed the PGA's biggest events. People didn't question it at first. Everyone just assumed, well, Saudi money is infinite. But insiders noticed something strange: the burn rate. Billions spent in under 2 years, events costing more than they earned, team expenses that ballooned overnight, prize money going out faster than sponsors could put anything in. Even analysts who originally praised LIV started raising eyebrows. One business reporter called it financial chaos disguised as innovation. Another labeled it the sports version of lighting cash on fire to see who notices. And golf insiders absolutely noticed. Sure, most leagues lose money early on, but LIV wasn't losing a little. It was hemorrhaging money at a level that looked less like strategy and more like desperation. And the problems didn't stop there. If LIV wanted to survive, they needed viewers, real viewers, millions of them. But what they got instead was the opposite. Multiple events drew shockingly low numbers, sometimes dipping below 300,000 or fewer nationwide. Some broadcasts barely cracked the top 150 cable shows of the day. One analyst said the viewership was comparable to late-night infomercials. It got worse. Their experiment with the CW network, meant to be the breakthrough, quickly turned into an embarrassment. Some affiliates refused to air events, others bumped LIV for reruns. A handful even replaced events with local programming because they believed it would draw a bigger audience. And then, without any real announcement, the deal quietly fizzled out. No extensions, no real explanation, just silence. After that, LIV leaned on streaming, but fans complained about glitchy feeds, missing broadcasts, and events that were practically impossible to find. On top of that, the team format that LIV promoted so heavily didn't resonate. Fans didn't care about team standings, they didn't follow the captains, the concept didn't click. And without viewers, the next problem became unavoidable. Businesses pay for visibility. They want eyeballs. They want media coverage. They want reliable branding. But LIV didn't provide any of that. According to insiders, multiple potential sponsors backed out after seeing the ratings data. Some disliked the political controversy around the league. Others didn't like the uncertainty of the merger with the PGA. And some simply didn't see value. Even existing sponsors were reportedly frustrated by format changes and unpredictable event schedules. One sponsor supposedly said, "We don't even know what product we're attaching our brand to." More red flags, poor attendance at several events, social media engagement far lower than expected, merch sales underperforming, broadcast partners hesitant to commit long-term. Behind the scenes, this was a nightmare. Without sponsors, LIV became even more dependent on PIF funding. And that led to another problem LIV never saw coming. LIV promised players everything: money, freedom, guaranteed paydays, less travel, shorter seasons, the dream. But reality didn't match the sales pitch. Several players privately admitted frustration with the lack of world ranking points. Others realized they were losing exemptions into majors. Some felt stuck, locked into contracts that removed their flexibility to return to the PGA. Others disliked the lack of structure. And then there were the regrets. Rumors swirled that some high-profile players tried exploring exit options with their agents. A few complained about the lack of momentum. Others disliked being tied to a league with inconsistent fan support. One LIV insider described it like this: "Everyone was on a high when the money hit. But after that, a lot of guys realized they'd traded prestige for uncertainty. And uncertainty got even worse when the merger fiasco began." The merger announcement shocked the world. Even LIV players didn't know it was happening. Neither did PGA players. No one did. It was launched with no plan, no details, no clarity. Within weeks, U.S. investigations opened. Deadlines were missed repeatedly. Negotiations stalled behind closed doors. Trust between the PGA and LIV evaporated. LIV players feared the deal would kill their leverage. PGA players felt betrayed by their own leadership. Analysts said the merger looked like a Hail Mary attempt to stabilize both sides financially. Others said it showed how unsustainable LIV had become. And every month that passed with no progress only fueled more speculation. But the real chaos was happening inside LIV itself. Whenever a league is stable, you see alignment, clear structure, consistent messaging. But LIV had the opposite. There were executive shakeups, leadership turnover, unclear long-term plans, captains frustrated with team assignments, players confused about bonuses, events shuffled around the calendar, mixed messaging about the league's future. Even players stopped giving confident interviews. The bold headlines from 2022 turned into vague, cautious statements in 2024 and 2025. Behind closed doors, players asked direct questions. How long is the funding guaranteed? What happens if the merger fails? Are our teams profitable? Are investors backing out? And the answers weren't comforting, but the biggest warning signs weren't spoken. They were written in the financial numbers. This is where everything starts to make sense. Industry analysts estimated LIV's annual losses at over $200 million per year. Even after cost-cutting, some estimates were closer to $400 million. Combined with upfront contracts, travel, marketing, broadcasting costs, and event production, insiders began warning that the league's model was impossible to sustain. Add in failed attempts to secure long-term US TV rights, low team valuation interest from investors, minimal corporate sponsorships, poor ticket revenue, a shrinking global audience. At some point, even unlimited money hits resistance. Multiple analysts reported that PIF, Saudi Arabia's investment fund, wanted to see LIV become more self-sufficient. That didn't happen, not even close. Then came the rumors of delayed or altered bonus payouts, players asking questions, managers investigating contract clauses, agents monitoring the situation closely. And that's when the B word began spreading. Bankruptcy. Not confirmed, not announced, but whispered through the sport. And once fans caught wind of it, the theories exploded. Social media went wild with speculation. Videos of empty seats at events went viral. Analysts pointed out the disappearing sponsors. Fans questioned the longevity of teams. PGA supporters called it the beginning of the end. Some LIV fans insisted everything was fine. Others weren't so sure. A few red flags stood out. Players reportedly asking about exit routes. Multiple captains avoiding questions about the league's future. No clarity from leadership about next season's plans. Distancing between PIF executives and LIV public messaging. A noticeable slowdown in spending. All of these signals created one big, unavoidable question. Is LIV actually running out of money? Or are we watching a strategic reset disguised as a financial crisis? Nobody knows for sure. But the evidence suggests that the league is under enormous pressure. Pressure to succeed. Pressure to produce viewers. Pressure to justify billions in spending. Pressure to make the merger work. Pressure to become something more than a flashy, expensive experiment. Because if LIV can't convince fans, sponsors, networks, and players that this league is sustainable long-term, then it doesn't matter how much money they started with. Every empire eventually reaches its breaking point, and the whispers suggest LIV may already be dangerously close. When you put all the signs together, the overspending, the weak ratings, the abandoned TV deal, the sponsor issues, the frustrated players, the chaotic merger negotiations, and the massive financial losses, the theory of LIV collapsing doesn't sound crazy anymore. Is LIV officially bankrupt? No. There's no public filing, no official announcement, no confirmed collapse. But is LIV surrounded by financial warning signs so loud that even loyal fans are starting to worry? Absolutely. Maybe LIV survives. Maybe they reinvent themselves. Maybe the merger breathes new life into the league. Or maybe this whole experiment becomes one of the most expensive, spectacular collapses in sports history. Either way, one thing is clear. The future of LIV is no longer guaranteed. The cracks are showing. The pressure is rising. And golf fans everywhere are asking the same question. Is LIV changing the sport forever or burning money faster than it can survive? Only time will tell.